Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Garrison, and I want to welcome you to day 328 of Humanity Rising. Over the last several days, we've been contemplating the way of the shaman, as we have heard from different elders of the Q'ero people in Peru, who at the time of the invasion of Francisco Pizarro, back in the 16th century in 1520s, they escaped and they went high up into the Andes mountains, about 18,000 feet. And there they lived in secret, essentially, from the colonial powers for 500 years. Very similar to the Koji people in Colombia. There were some indigenous tribes throughout Latin America that fled, that preserved their language, preserved their spirituality. And now, as the world of the colonizers is threatening planetary life, the people that they sought to vanquish are now coming back with a message that can empower us and, in fact, save civilization as we know it. And this is the way of the shaman. I want to also bring in a small group of pilgrims that I spoke to just a few minutes ago, who have made their way to Chartres in France from our wisdom school. And this is part of our larger shamanic program. The Druids, the ancient Druids, shamanic people from deep antiquity, came to Chartres west of Paris about 3,500 years ago. And they discerned there a particular telluric energy that they associated with the feminine. And so Chartres has been a consecrated site associated with the sacred feminine, energies of which come right out of the earth. So when you go to Chartres, like going to Lourdes or going to any holy site, you can actually feel the earth energies informing your heart and your body and your soul. So they arrived in Chartres today, and I told them about our shamanic program. So I just wanted to bring that energy of the Celts and the Druids and the telluric energies of the feminine into our conversations today, because it's all one. The shamanic, the indigenous mind, wherever you are in the world, it's all one thing. This particular week, we're listening to the Q'ero, and we're also very honored to have Nina and Ray Crist with us. They're the co-founders of the Jaguar Path. They live in Costa Rica. Don Pascual and Maria today are in Peru. Rick and I are in California. We have pilgrims in France, and it's a beautiful mosaic of shamanic energy that we want to bring into our council today. So without further ado, please welcome Ray and Nina Crist. I turn it over to you, Ray. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for having us here. It is really a beautiful shamanic mosaic. And it brings to my mind, to my heart, is when I originally started my journey to travel through Mexico and through Central America to Peru to find shamans. I was motivated because I had received a diagnosis of stage 4 cancer, and I was given 3 months to live. And in that panic, in that terror, I said, I need to go to a pilgrimage to find the shamans, find healers, find medicine men, medicine women. And my thought is like, how am I going to find them? Where are they? They've been extinct. They're like gone. There's just a few. And you just mentioned half a dozen right there, from the Celtics to the Druids so I started my pilgrimage in search of the unfindable, and I have found so many shamans. And only even 5 and 6 years later into my apprenticeship with the shamans, I came to the greatest realization that it is only in Europe and in the United States, it's in the Western world, the civilized, in italics, world, where they have been banished. And even though they've been banished, still Druids live, and people in France live, and there's beautiful communities that are not in hiding, but they're definitely not all publicizing themselves, you know. So along with this, like you mentioned, I've discovered and walked in my path brought me to meet with the Q'ero Nation people. And I've been an apprentice with Don Francisco, Juanita, Pascual, Wilbert. We'll meet more tomorrow. Since then, since 2005, healing my cancer. And along the way, I became initiated. And one of the most important things that was given is that if you want to stay healthy and you don't want cancer returning, you can't be that person you were before. That person has cancer. So who are you going to be now? And I said, well, what can I do? He said, they said that you have to be the teacher. You have to give all this because we've given you this energy, and you can't just be selfish and keep it. You have to spread it to the world. And the more you spread this wisdom to the world, the more you teach, the stronger you and healthier you will be. And you're a part of this lineage now. So I'm honored to be a part of the lineage. I'm honored to have a mission, and today we will be talking about mission. We'll be talking about body. Being given a body means, here you go, Nina, Ray, Maria, Pascual, Jim. This is a body to work on the body of, to walk on in the body of Earth. What is your mission? You can't just walk here and take. You're here to work, to mulch, to create. But I will introduce us to my beloved Pascual, and we'll take it from there, going into the depths of his wisdom, and we'll analyze it. I'm here to translate not only the Spanish and Quechua, but to translate the meanings so I can make it accessible to all of you and all of us here in the Western world. How can I use this? How can I apply it? How can we apply it to make a difference in our own life and in the world around us that needs this now more than ever? Bienvenido, Don Pascual, Maria. Good morning.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias, buenos dias.
Good morning with everybody. So now we are with Pascual, that came from the nation of Queros. So he's gonna to give you a little presentation, and I'm gonna to translate.
Let's begin by opening sacred space. Por favor, Don Pascual, abierto direcciones para benedicciones por todos. And Maria, if you would like, please translate the opening of sacred space. That would be wonderful.
Remambis.
It's okay, Maria, if you have a seat, it's okay if you're seated exactly there.
Going now about the serpent.
Pacha Mama hatong amaro si Pente. Ang may mamay. Yan napaway ko, just kitiway ko. LLankay manta. Toko ya chani kita muna kita. Mas adiway ko tong si Pente. Pacha Mama amaro. Oh!
Serpent, which is connecting with the Uhupacha, the lower wall.
Inviting Pacha Mama, the great serpent that's connecting us always with the earth. Beautiful.
With the other earth also. Continue.
Atong puma, hawag sa pagkikay. Ang pumay mamay. Toko ya chani kita, toko muna kita. LLankay mo siya moy ko. Ima sumakta.
The Jaguar Path, which is connecting also with the Mother Earth.
Oh!
Harbichai.
Amigos, amigas, Jaguar Pente.
The sweet hummingbird, which is to be connecting with this meeting.
Atong kundo na puching. Kanun de coca mi secundor. Águila. Conéctame. Que ya te niquita, mona niquita, blanca niquita. Que más o más que igual que Ray. Un rato.
Which is the condor, which is connecting with Mona, Llankay, Yachay.
Yachai. And coming to Mother.
Pacha Mamita, Santa Tierra.
Mother Earth.
Uyarikoy, kuchashikoy, kiwa kikunata ki manya kuskaikuta. Kuna punche, suma punche, anim punche kanampa. Pacha Mamita.
You can hear us and
Camping lantakuna, camping rumikuna kakakuna, kaminukuna. Suma animal kuna, chakrakuna kuntinukuna. Suma Pacha Mamita uyari yuaiki. Camping suma hey. Campa tapin kuna manya kuskisa ikinante kuskopi. Ginante país tipis Pacha Mama. Gracias.
Mother Earth, can you hear us? Blessing to all the people that we are here.
Pachacaba que la texibura cucha con tikibura cucha. Intitaita, mama quilla, chascacuna, canchamuaico, uyarihuaico. Napa pucuna, apa usangate, huayna usangate, Machu Picchu, huayna Picchu. Todos los volcanes, volcán de Miste, uyaris jacacho, una punja, allí punja. Gente por Huayque, Ray, todos los países están conectados por un len. Entonces, con la conexión Huayco. Sumasta es Kichuaico, Uyarico Huayco, Mastarico Moico, una niñita y titaita, mamaquilla, Chiscacona. Oh, gracias. Pichai Soncoy.
Pichai Soncoy. Pichai, gracias. Gracias, gracias, Pascual. Gracias. Connecting us with the sun, connecting us with the sun as a king and as a god. Thank you for the blessings, Don Pascual. I would like to share with everyone before we dive into it just a couple things. Again, because what we're looking at here in everything in life is context. How do we live our lives? And we live our lives with under paradigms. Paradigm is a Greek word and it means example. So how do I live my life? I need to have an example, a way, what language I use, what metaphors I use, what are the important things, what are the values, what's good and what's not good, what will allow me to progress and everyone around me. So in this sense, I invite you to open your hearts and your minds. And while we're looking at a holy man that comes from an ancient tradition and is a lineage holder and is revered throughout Peru and the world as a shaman and a healer, I invite you to look beyond that or before that. How can all this knowledge, his way, the way of the Keros, how can that be applied in your life? Because I believe, and it's really clear to me, 15, 16 years into apprenticing with these men and women, that we are all shamans, we're all healers, and we all live in our minds mostly. So what's the context in your mind? I invite you to take in these paradigms, because we had this workshop a few weeks ago talking about shamanism for skeptics. And my greater realization is that the only skeptics are the shamans. Everyone else is mainstream, is collective consciousness, and is not daring to step out of a box. So the ones that are really skeptics and doubting what's been widely accepted and said that is the truth or is the reality are the shamans. So I invite you to be a skeptic. I invite you to think of what's important in your life and see if these values and this way of thinking we're talking about, see how you can apply them and notice how it can really uplift you and bring you at a whole other level. Yeah. Don Pascual, por favor, hablar para LLankay. ¿Por qué es importante LLankay? Es para todo vidas.
Awel waikay panaykuna ki LLankay ka. Lankay kalarina pa ka, masumaktan Pacha Mama manta, apo kunamanta, lapang hatong waka kunamanta, manyalikus pa Lankay ta kalarina. Espiritu ko ng primeron si kalari, manyal ko ng karang espiritu man.
So Pascual say that first this code, which is LLankay, is related that everything that we make, so we need to be done with work. So I mean, in their communities where they live, so every like simple activities, building the houses, doing something in the field, living with their communities, etc. So it's made by work. So at the beginning, the principal definition of LLankay is related to the activities that they made.
Beautiful.
Yeah, hinang Lankay ka, kay kichua pe kay papukay pe, Lankay, iwal mi Lankay na pa ka, kay ko kay pero lakta pe, inga lakta pe, chakra ro na ikwakpis, sumakta manyal ko apumanta manda chimi, Lankay spay ko, aling wacho sikan, manana ka manang wacho sikan. Hinata kami, kailan tak Lankay chakra Lankay na pakti. Kung Lankay na kailan tak igual me similar kankunak skakla puni Lankay na itis país pe todo mundo. Porque oficina pe Lankay igual me chi espiritual Lankay kenan. Igual ta Lankay na pa kalpata churakuna. Ya che injis pe Lankay kenan. Muna injis pe Lankay kenan. Lankay injis pe alin Lankay kenan.
Pascual say also that LLankay is related to with these three values that they have, and it's fundamental for those. The Yachai, which is the knowledge, the Munai, which is the heart, and finally, which is the LLankay, which is the body. So both of those are connecting in the life of those. And also, this special feeling that they have here in Peru also happen in other countries in the world, maybe with different manifestations, but the meaning is going to be the same. Remams.
Yeah. Kinaway ka pa na yun na chimi, Lankay nantis pa ka, Lankay ka ki spiritual minti ka, ki papukuna ka kay ko, manyak kusong sumakta. Ama sa ko nantis pa, Lankay wachupe, ki pako wachupe, sumakta, Lankas pa, yachachisong, kuhuay kan diskunata, ki Lankay pe, hampi kuna pe, hampis kanjis, kaliya chong ungkus ka kuna, hampi pakukay mo na kuna pe, alinyang manchaya chong.
The Pacos who are to understand which are the healers in this nation, which is Keros. So everything that they do, so it's special made with this knowledge, which is Yachai, which is Munai, which is LLankay. So all the activities that they made, and one of the principal motivations that they have is to heal her, but it's connecting with these three fundamental values, which is the knowledge, and which is the heart, and which is the body.
That's beautiful. Momentito, por favor, Pascual. So I want to come in here so we don't go too far into. I just bring the translation of the translation, and I'm going to say here, besides the initiations that I received, my nickname or my initiation or my appointed role is called the bridge. And I'm bridging, again, not only the translation of the language, but more importantly, I'm bridging the translation and the understanding of what we're really listening, what we're really hearing here. And that have taken me a decade and a half to in the mountains to learn. I'll bring you right into your living room, a little fast forward so I can catch you up, because now we all need to catch up. And especially what we're talking about today, LLankay, if you hear the translation, it talks about, it's about work. It's about how we go to the fields, how we're cooking, how we meet with our community and our neighbors. It is about the body, our existence. You as a body, it's like when we say, hello everybody in the room, how are you feeling? And I want to say pause here and hold that. A basic structure of the idea of yoga, and this was the big aha right off the beginning, right off the bat for me, as I was seeking to find that healing from the shamans, was that when they started talking to me about these three words that we've been studying these last 3 days, that's Yachai, Munai, Yankai, there was a big aha for a moment that, wait a minute, you're talking about mind, soul, and body, and that's what yoga studies. And I'm going to pause and also just pause in parentheses here to say, because I think that this is not taught enough, and why yoga is structured like that, why shamanism is structured like that, and why is the Taoist and martial arts structured like that. Because all these three ancient technologies and essentially sciences and applied arts are created by humans that could connect, tap into source, and give us the information of how and what we could do to arrive in an optimal state of being, of perception, action, and being. It's like we were thrown here in the Western world with magic and the feminine and animals being persecuted and wiped out, and we're all just standing here looking at each other now because the essence has been wiped out. So we don't have a way, we don't have that owner's manual anymore. It's like, wait, I got a body, we have a body here, I'm here, I can use it, but I don't know how to use it. And tapping into the ancient Greeks, going to my heritage, my Greek heritage, where I'm originally from, they say, gnothis eαυτό, know thyself. And forever it was spinning around my tail, trying to understand my personality, trying to understand where it might be not good in my personality, what needs changing. It's not about that. Before you venture into trying to figure out your personality, I mean, actually, don't even bother. Personality, we can talk about another time. The essence of knowing thyself, though, is to understand what we are as beings. Who are you? First of all, you are a human, as a human species. What does that mean? You have a body, you're feeling, you're walking, you're running, you're hugging, you're waving at someone. You have a presence that's here. You're working in the field, you're working at the house. You have a mind. That's a whole different perceptual reality. You're thinking, you're calculating, you're using your mind to project, to bring ideas, to share ideas. And then, more important than all, you are a soul. You're feeling the eminent, you're feeling rather the ever presence of God. You are a part of it. You are a representation of God. You are that spirit. So for us as human beings, for you as Maria, Jason, George, for every single one of you, for every single one of us that are all present today, it's like this is a way to get that owner's manual and learn how to live. And don't misunderstand this as like, you're going to tell me how to live? No, we're going to share what it means to live and what it means to engage in life and give you ways to optimally engage. Where can you sit in your soul and watch a vista of a sunset or a sunrise and be one with God? How can you begin to think without too much of that chatter of the narrator? Anyone have any chatter of the narrator telling me I'm not good enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not... How can we let go of that voice and hear the voice of the shaman within that says, you are all, my beloved one. You are love, my beloved one. So how can we live bringing together mind, body, and soul? So today we're diving into body. And again, as Maria is wonderfully translating for us, it's about what we do. So my translation is Dharma. What's your purpose and what's your mission? If you don't have a purpose, if you don't have a mission, if you're not serving, part of you will always, all of you, will always feel unfulfilled. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how many cars we buy, how many houses we buy, how many bigger boats we buy. That gap of not offering service to other human beings cannot be filled with anything. That gap will always feel like a lack of love, a lack of sustenance. But with that said, and having brought this into context, open your heart more. Por favor, Don Pascual, gracias. Por favor, si quieres hablar un poco más, mucho más. Unmute.
Ricky.
Rimasam yanka kunat.
China kunangka waikei rai. LLankay ka imasumak kita mas tarin ki LLankay to waikan kunapak chika. Ama saitus pa dapalanchis ukala ki kami naman siya sumang LLankay spiritual LLankay ta. Yok pa mga pananchis pa kunikta kusunchis apo punawang Pacha Mamawang chika sapang ka LLankay ninchis ping tepirin LLankay pipis yana pa wasunchis mi chemi spiritual minte LLankay ka niswali. Chita nyukapis nisuta minka kupis kanguna kan skipi askaruna kuna kiman kunang konektas pa kasyang tsika te printe lankana mi kangis chipi kipi manya kung tsika yana pasun kichismi apu kuna ka Pacha Mama ka apo sangat Machu Picchu injan kilangay peta chimi kalba chakranchis na kilangkanchis na panya makinis man yuki makinis man yapalang sumak langkananchis ka Diferente lang ka na. Yung kay ko mana pakulat yung chakraruah kay ko. Makikuang kay chakraruah. Silang kay pipis yan na pawang ko. Hampi pipis yan na pawang ko. Sipa imasumaki lang kay nita kapasong yaw pa kumang way kay panay ko.
Pascual say that when Llankay, Yachay, and Sonkoy are in a proper balance and mutual relationship, it is understood that we are not only individual consciousness, we are much more, we are collective consciousness. And respecting the laws of nature is one of the fundamental teachings. We must follow and live by these laws, must be followed in our everyday decisions that we have, where human vulnerability cannot justify ignoring or disrespecting the laws of nature and Mother Earth. Llankay also allows us to express our creativity towards our work and also symbolizes the power and capacity of the physical body and together with the Llankay. So we know that we exist for good of all, and the individual and the collective are one and the same unit.
This is beautiful, beautiful. And if you may allow me once again to translate the translation. Thank you, Maria. This is awesome. It is very clear, and as I mentioned earlier, during the Spanish Inquisition, during the Dark Ages, the Spanish Inquisition wiping out from the whole of Europe, and then of course echoed wiping out from the Americas, but also the Spaniards, the conquistadors going down through Central and South America, that they wiped out the respect for the feminine, the love and learning from the animals, and the magic itself, the connection, the personal connection each and every one of us has with the divine. Now, this information they're coming back to share us. For me, this is so deep. Like from what Pascual just shared is like we have to understand that none of us is alone. You and I are alone as any single cell in my body. Is this cell? Is a cell over here alone without the rest of the cells? The obvious answer is no. We only coexist. Imagine yourself that you're alone, and I'll even give you a nice tropical island, and you can be in a tropical island all alone. In 1 week, it can be fun. In 2 weeks, you'll begin to start talking to yourself out loud. In 3 weeks, you'll begin to yearn for that other selves, the other individuals that you can co-create, that you can interact, right? Mm-hmm. And after 2 months, you begin to lose that connection of reality, essentially, because we only exist in relationship to. I am Nina's husband. Mm-hmm. I am Jason's father, Robert's and Despina's son. I am your teacher. I am Pascual's student. This is more than it is identity, but also the paradigm we're talking about. who I am, identity, which means how am I now reflecting back, how I live as a light, reflecting to everyone around me what I am as part of this greater being of humanity on the earth. As we lost connection with the feminine and honoring Mother Earth and honoring women, as we lost connection with the animals, and someone said in the Dark Ages, to be written down and revered forever, that God says that humans are the favorite creation of God and the rest of them are less. How could a jaguar be a less favorite creation? How could an eagle be less of a favorite creation of this God that made these beautiful fish and birds and animals, these eagles that fly at 100 miles an hour, cheetahs that run at 90 miles an hour? How are we better without fangs, without wings? We can't even run to save our life. I'm not sure that we're the most favorite. And that is what created anthropocentrism. We live as if this planet and everything on it is made for us. We live as if we are the kings, the monarchs, the tyrants, essentially. And we live as if we're the favorite of we're the favorite student of the teacher, or how would you call it? We just get away with everything. And that is by far not truth. That is not a paradigm. That is a lack of consciousness, a total lack of awareness. That is what is referred to in Buddhism as ignorance that leads to suffering. An ignorance that leads to arrogance, and arrogance that leads to destruction. So I'm not trying to be didactic, but actually I'm offering these ideas to work on them, because we feel that those words don't need to be touched by us, but they do, because when I start thinking about these things, I'm beginning to formulate a specific way of being. So already, as we're learning from Pascual, what is the work that you can do? What is your body? You've been given a body. Favorite, the most favorite, or not the most favorite, one of the many amazing and one of the many favorite creations of this divine energy that's created us, is asking you specifically, not everyone else in the group, I want you to take this personally. What is your contribution? So I'm hearing Pascual's contribution. I'm sharing our contribution as a school of shamanism and martial arts and yoga. We contribute this as knowledge to make a better world. What is your contribution? Can you even teach? Please teach 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs, 5 things that you've learned today, and offer that as a contribution to humanity. And that will make you feel that deeper self-confidence of belonging, and belonging now to a species that is beginning to turn its destiny line from destruction, which we're headed as we're seeing in this red alert that we've hit. We begin, you and every one of us here will begin to contribute to a beautiful life that we can create, a planet that is clear, an environment that is sustainable, and a beautiful creation and safety for all beings, for all sentient beings. Okay, Maria, thank you for your patience. Don Pascual. You're, please unmute.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this parenthesis really quick, because a couple of people asked on the chat box, what is Pascual chewing? It is not chewing gum. Pascual is chewing coca leaves. The coca leaves are put in the side, you chew them and put them in the side of your mouth. Coca leaves they dilate the capillaries and the veins, so you have, the capillaries are the small thin veins in the brain, so you get more oxygen in the brain. When we walk, when we hike, here you go. Por favor, sí, hablar por Mama Coca. Y quintus.
Mama Kukatan, Nukayo Kay, Peru Suyupe, Yankanapa, Hypaikuku, Kinsata, Chime Yacha Muna Yankay, Chimeke Yanapawanku, Wachu Kalanapa, Suma Kalanapa, Hypaikus Pan, Nukayuka, Chakra Yankaipe, Yankakuiko, Uiwaiko, Michik for night purpose, Ukay Palbaku, Chime, Ubaiku Yankay.
So Mama Coca, the coca leaf plant, is the goddess of all plants, and it is here to bless humanity and awaken it. It is here that gives us a gift of sustainability and endurance when we hike, when we walk on this earth. And what Pascual has created here is 3 leaves. What did we just talk about? Mind, body, and spirit. Also referred to as serpent, jaguar, and condor. And each one of these gives a blessings to each one of these perceptual states. One coca leaf, again, is for our body, one is for our mind, and one is for our soul. And as we eat the coca leaves and we're chewing and we're secreting these enzymes in our body, we're building our immune system, we're creating endurance, and we can have that ability to walk all the way to Machu Picchu for 4 days, and ability to have more oxygen in the brain. And when we eat it, guess where Mother Earth now lives in? She's not only around us, now she's inside us, also informing us.
And it's the munya tea that they drink with the meat.
Along with the Munai tea, correct.
Yeah.
Nice. Maria, did I miss something from the translation? Please go ahead,
it's
Mike.
good. It's good. So Pascual is talking about this coca leaf, which is one of the ancient kind of plants that came from the Incas, and also has so many purpose for medicinal purpose, spiritual purpose, so many things. So, and it's very used for them because also represent the 3 worlds in the ancient Incas time, which is the Haran Pacha, the Kai Pacha, and the Uhu Pacha. So the 3 levels in the life. So, and also represent the Munai, which is the LLankay, and also which is the Yache. So it's representing so many purposes too.
And watch this again, everyone, how we're talking about the trilogies. How does it represent? It represents the mind, the body, the spirit. But it also represents the underworld, the middle world, and the upper world. And what does that mean? The underworld and it represents serpent, jaguar, condor, right? The serpent goes to the underworld. It's our subconscious, it's the earth, it's what is matter, and what is we're created from. The middle world is a jaguar. The middle world is the world we roam in. It's on the top of the surface of the planet. And we roam this middle world. And then the upper world, condor, that's the heavens, right? And the heavens is that place where it is sending its influence through the stars, through what we talked about yesterday and the day before yesterday, Viracocha, the infinite dome of the night sky, and the constellations that affect us, the constellations that give us a stamp of approval the moment we're born. Where were the stars? What's your sign, right? We see this also in the Inca astrology, that there's been an imprint of a predisposition / personality and tendencies that you got with you, and that's what you have for the rest of your life as a person, depending on the date you're born. So you can watch all the trilogies and how they come together. And this is a big part, of course, all of this is an intro and barely scratching the surface, but this is what we're going to be diving into, the 9-month training, the master's degree in Ubiquity that's coming up. And I know Jim and I will talk more about it. What's happening in Ubiquity University? How can you get your master's degree in shamanism? How are we turning the tables in history now? Claiming back the beauty and the love for the feminine and respect, the learning from the animals, and bringing magic and the power of the divine in every one of us. That was persecuted through the Spanish Inquisition. Now we're clearing out. We're bringing back to mainstream. So the collective consciousness, like Maria was translating earlier, so we each as individuals bring magic back to the collective. Thus, we change the collective. Thus, we save our planet and our habitat, our lives. Sí, María, por favor, Pascual, gracias. Horpichai sonkoi.
LLankay.
LLankay, Waiki Panaikuna, Lapalantis, Lanka Hunagans. LLankay taki Peru, Lachtapi, Waiku, China Punakango LLankay. LLankay ka, LLankay kuna, avanza kunabach, Kukuncha Yukahlankana. Chakra hatun yang katun chakra o imalankana pistu kapa kunja imariapa kunja ta kampa avanza sun disipi japan sunyunta kuspaka sumakta chakra distapis imalankana stapis kuspa igual Sumakanato. Mana ay nakuswasu. Mana tukusun juliakanata. Chipa sumakta. Chi mita aini hinallankay. Sumak chimi waite panantin llankay. Wachuchutay. Imapis sumak yawpakman apay. Chika. Runakunapis qhawarillas wawqi runakuna sumaqta llankanku. Mishuyninkuy ima sumaq uywanku, sumaq wasinku tukusqa, chayna chay llankay.
Perfecto.
So in the Andean culture, so this fundamental value, which is Llankay, so also is divided in 3 sectors too. So he say that one of the first is el aine, which is the relationship between the people and their own communities. So if they want to do some activities like aine, so they must to feel this energy to help to other people. And also the aine describe also today for me and tomorrow for you. So this is the fundamental conception that they have of the aine and is related to Llankay. So today for you and tomorrow for me. So,
Llankay and Aini that Maria is talking about.
So, but also the other connections that they have with this fundamental value, which is Llankay, is gonna to be the Minka. Minka is other fundamental value that they have, which is the relationship with the authorities that they have, the local governments that they have. And finally, the other fundamental thing which is related to the Llankay is Mita. Mita is other relationship which is connecting with the gods and also with the constellations and in the world.
Mita.
So through their understanding of these energetic, physical, and mental principles, so they share their powers, knowledge, and skills for the betterment of humanity. So one of the principal functions that they have in this definition, which is Llankay, is they try to make the combination of these 3 values, which is the Yacha, which is the Munay, which is the Llankay. So means with the knowledge, with the heart. So everything that they do is connected with these 3 principal fundamental things, and also are connecting, are representing, and related with the physical activities that they do in their communities. The Aini, the Mita, the Minka.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Pascual. I wanted to kind of chime in and share what I love about this lineage and the way they're sharing the healing and the way of being is it's not just about the individual. There's no separation or fragmentation. Like Maria Pascual was just sharing, everything is connected with these 3. And so we look at the mind, the heart, the body, the vehicle that Mother Earth has given us. If we're not in correct relationship with nature, with Mother Earth herself, we're out of Aini. We're not in correct relationship, first and foremost, to ourselves. And the dimension that's created by these 3, it's not 1, it's not 2, right? 2 points make a line. We add that 3rd point, we create dimension. And we create dimension, we start to see below the surface, we start to feel into the layers of life and what our actions, our engagement with life, all of our contributions, what they ripple, what the impact each of them have. And we're not talking about just the physical. We're talking about the manifested and the physical form. We're also talking about the unmanifested energy. What's happening? What's the current of what's being changed before it comes seen in the physical realm? And that includes our thoughts, our attitude, our emotions. So the energy that moves throughout the body, the energy that's externally in a storm outside ourselves, and the energy of the collective community that we live within, all is part of this dimension. And it's our relationship to each of these components, not a standalone unit. And when we feel ourselves in relationship to, when we're in Aini, when we're in correct relationship, then we can trust that everything we're doing, everything you're saying, every interaction is based in truth. Because that space of Aini offers the protection and the absolute presence of truth. Lack of truth exists when we are out of Aini. When I'm in Aini, I'm going to be able to easily detect or see. I'll have a heightened awareness of lack of truth. And it's only when we come into that space that we can really fully embody our true self. And I kind of can hear, it's like, well, how do I get there? How can I be in correct relationship to? I want to do the right thing. I want to love Mother Earth. I want to love my brothers and sisters. I want to contribute in society. Where do I start? How do I do it? I believe that each of you are already doing it. And I asked Ray to pass me one of my stones, because when I hold a stone, if any of you go for a walk on the beach or you are in the woods and you see a stone or you see a stick or you see a shell and you pick it up and you hold it in your hand, this is returning to the vibration of earth. I know for myself, since a child, I've picked up stones, I've picked up sticks, I put them in my pocket. I want to hold them because my hand has a point that's connected to my heart. And I bring Mother Earth to my heart. I hold that, so if I'm feeling out of alignment, if I'm feeling my vibrations been influenced by lack of truth, lack of integrity, I can return to Mother Earth, step outside, take a deep breath, look at the sky, look at the ocean, look at the earth, and feel that return to my true self and return to my connection to Mother Earth, so that I can walk this life in this physical body, this beautiful vessel, this we call earth suit in our school. I can return to this space of Aini.
It's beautiful, thank you.
Thank you.
Maria, Don Pasquale. Can we hear you? There you go.
And I just want to say, as Maria and Pasquale are preparing, look at the support they offer each other.
LLankay, LLankay ka, James sumakta LLankay bigay kalalito na. Napang LLankay kalalito na sumakta. Tarpo ito na sumakta. Misil ko na ta. Nakakata sa kanyo na pisi tarpo ito LLankay bigay ofisin na pe. Chura LLankay sapang ko lang kakasangit. Kakata kami yapang man to kunyon espiritual LLankay kakata. Wachuhina. Ini tarpuhina, sempre tarpuhiki. Muhuta chuasus. Muhuta chuasus winachuntis lankaspa. Sumachta. Ama kurawan to kuchispa. Sumachta ki landakunata winachinanchis. Ki papatapis, salatapis, anchir. Yaklatata kangunapis, opisnakunapis lankaspa. Ama unapis yapang dokumentukunapis sumachta nampa. Chimiti LLankay. Sumakta kuiras pa lang kanang chistaka. Winyachisun. Chimanta kusichuta hukari ng chistaka LLankay. Iki chuna way kay iba na ito na. Chita nyo kap sa tunta minka kukit sa pangko.
So, Pasquale tried to explain that LLankay, which is the body, also is related to these nature plants that they use. So we consider that every single plants that they have, it's considered for them like a sacred, and it's used for them also. And also they say that LLankay, which is the body, so it's in everything that they do. For example, planting, picking, or harvest. So every activity that they do in their communities are made by LLankay, which is the body. So it's the real expressions that they are going to use to interpret this activity that they have. And also, he say that LLankay is the understanding that we are all a part of a larger picture, and that each part is intrinsically depend on the other. And also every thought, word, and actions affects everyone and everything. It's part of the life experiences. They were popular and wise teachings to be able to live in harmony between human beings, nature, gods, in this way, so the unit was achieved.
Beautiful, thank you, Marie. Gracias, Pascual.
Gracias.
Horpichai. So I'm going to repeat what we said in the beginning, that just to make it clear, Jim in his introduction told us, and what we've been talking about, who are the Queros? Who is Pascual? Pascual and the Quero Nations people are the direct descendants of the Inca. They were the Inca shamans, the medicine men and women that healed not only the royal family, but were also in each village, the doctors, the medicine men who knew the plants, who knew the qualities, the medicinal qualities of each plant, bark, tree, root, leaf. They were the ones that initiated medicine and the idea of healing. So when they see the conquistadors, what do they see? The conquistadors are these people that are coming to take. Who takes? The only person that takes is the one that is in lack. Who feels that they don't have enough? The one that feels disconnected, that is alone and not connected. They hide in the mountains not to save their lives. Their lives are dedicated to protecting this wisdom that is a human right. I believe that maybe this is a gateway where we're leading up to human rights and getting the Queros to be the ones that are in UNICEF and wherever we're applying laws for human rights, to understand what the true human right, what the true human nature is, because we've forgotten. I work with people one-on-one, we do healing sessions, and it's like in 99% of the healing sessions I see, it's like a person who's forgotten who they are. I was suffering of cancer and was dying because I had forgotten who I was and what my surrounding was. So the idea is to understand that when we talk about LLankay, your body, do this for a moment, do this, do this. This is a gift like no other, but don't feel it separate from someone else, from anyone else. This is the same body that we all share. The same consciousness that we vibrate in. We depend on each other. May that be our wives and husbands. We give birth to children. We are all a chain. We are all like a cell that reproduces, a cell that duplicates itself. And how it duplicates itself in existence isn't by merely giving, here I have a body, two bodies together have made a third body, we have our son. It's deeper and more central than that, and to dive into the understanding that not only is there cells representing a human form, that body, that LLankay, but that is representing a wisdom and knowledge that is connected with all other human beings. We live in collective consciousness. And our role, as we're learning this information, as I've been giving this as a mission of my life, I share this mission with you, and I invite you to share everything you've learned today with others. You might say, well, I don't know enough, I don't know a lot. Share 2 sentences that you've just learned today. That can change someone's life. Say, hey, you know what? We're not alone. We're actually all connected. We all live in mind, body, and spirit. in Yachai, Muna, Yankai. We all are in serpent, jaguar, and condor. We can release as serpents, release old trauma, heal ourselves. We can start thinking like jaguars. I'm not informed by fear. I'm informed by the sensitivity that the jaguar has in its paws to know all the details of a situation, of a travel, of a business, of anything that I will be doing. And I also have the power and the clarity of the claws to apply these things. And finally, I'm also spirit. I am condor. I soar upward, and from condor, from high above, I can see the greater picture of my life and make better informed decisions. And also up there, I can feel that air, the wind that's lifting me. That wind itself is the great spirit. That wind is the air we breathe. So I invite you to awaken this, and just thinking about these notions alone will begin to stimulate a whole new neural pathway activities that will stimulate endocrine secretions. You will begin to change. This is transformative by definition, by alchemy, and by mechanisms. It's not some kind of philosophy that say, oh, I want to be like the Caros. You are going to be like who you are, and what the Caros are talking about is who you are. You don't have to wear that hat. I wear it when we're all together. They make me wear it. You are an Alto Messiah. You have to wear it in ceremony. So when I'm with him, I wear it. And not because I'm bashful, but to make sure that I'm always respecting. I wear it when I'm with them. I am that lineage. So I'm inviting you to feel how you're becoming that lineage already. You're receiving this light. They've come down from the mountain for you. If you're looking at alone at your screen, alone in your room, know that this is addressed to you personally as an awakening call, because it's you and I and you and you and you and you, all of us. How many of us are here, hundreds or thousands that we are. You're invited to love Mother Earth. You're invited to begin to love your body in another way. Know that this body Mother Earth gave you, like she gave me. I wasn't putting it in application. I wasn't using it in relationship to everyone around me. I was using it for myself. Sure, I had my career as a photographer, but I was leading everyone else in advertisement and products that no one really needs ever. So how then my body was beginning to be expiring. Mother Earth said, you're not really doing what you've come here for. You're not using your body, your presence, to share with the others what is needed. That's all how all disease comes. If I'm not manifesting, like Nina said, the divine through my body, I am then not running a life through this body. So it will be taken away so you can come back again. I invite you to make it in this lifetime as of today. Maybe it is diving into the 9-month training, into the master's program. Maybe it is by sharing, just watching what we do and what we talk about in all our free webinars and master classes. But whatever you learn, begin to share. And as you share it, you'll learn more. And as you share it, you become important to Mother Earth. Your body and your existence has a specific role that is of a divine mission to awaken humanity to its ability to rise. And like Marie so wonderfully brought, it's a Yatsai is just not a body alone. It's like, oh, and I got a body so I can eat and have fun, or I can be swimming and enjoy swimming. It's all that, everything that I can smell, I can hear, I can feel, I can touch, I can be with. It's a divine gift to all 5 senses. But it's also connected with Aini, being in correct relationship with others. Look around you where you go. It's not, oh, hey, I've come here to take. I'm buying things from the supermarket. Even if I'm in the supermarket and I'm buying things, no, I'm here to offer a smile to the cashier, to say hello, or to offer help to someone, an elderly that can't reach that shelf. I'm here in relationship with everyone else around me. And I want to be kindness, because that's how I'm spreading the light. If I feel that the world is hostile and is divided and is not doing that well, the only reason all that's happening is because you are not contributing that moment. I forgot to contribute that moment. So I remind you, let's all contribute. Your Lankai, your body is not just a body, is a body, and its presence is awesome, it's fantastic. You're there in that room, in that shop, in that church, in the temple. But you have to be actively, exactly like Nina said, through the unmanifested. What are your thoughts in that moment? What are you emanating through your smell, through your endocrine and exocrine system? And also your Lankai is connected with Minka. And Minka is your relationship with a government, is relationship with, watch how complicated this is and how cosmological it is and how important it is. It's important to not say, oh yeah, we have democracy, which could be debated, but we have democracy and I'm cool and I'm an American citizen and I just have the rights to have the rights. It's more than that. I am in a system and I'm a civilian, is it called, I'm American, I'm a Peruvian, I'm a Costa Rican, I'm a Greek.
Citizen.
A citizen. I don't know what I am, all that. We are all those ethnicities together. But in that, I want to play my role as a citizen, thank you, to in ancient Greece, if you didn't play your role as a citizen, you'd be exercised. You had to leave the city. There's duties. You have to show up. You have to participate. You have to vote. You have to offer an opinion. And also LLankay, again, is the connection with Mita. Your body is connected with the divine. We may have been discommunicated by our direct relationship with the divine, by our direct relationship to the feminine and to the animals, but now we're re-establishing this communication and this communion, and it is up to you to reach out to God, but rather than wait. It's up to you to respect the feminine and love an animal, get a dog, hold, watch a condor fly, learn from them. You have again, it's not an obligation, but it's like it's an opportunity. And Mita is the LLankay is your body's connection with the divine, which is expressed in all things. Begin, and if you don't have a relationship with the divine, don't worry about God or the church or rules and regulations. Just feel inside you and say, God, my beloved goddess, I feel you running through my veins. I feel you emanating through this heat of my body outward. May I be a representation of this beautiful divine energy. May I be love for all. Thus, we shift the collective consciousness. The collective consciousness does not belong to some other group. It belongs to you and I. And when I am in control of my thoughts and I am thinking consciously, with awareness, with love in my heart, then I am contributing to the collective consciousness and I'm changing the history and the outcome of what's happening now. We can change it when we begin to love Mother Earth and say every morning, I love you, Mother Earth. I love you, Mother Earth. I love you, Mother Earth. It will count and it will make the difference.
And just to add to what Ray's saying and all of that, I know for myself, I've had moments in the past where I feel like, well, it's so small. Is it enough? Does it count? And just know that, just like Pascual was saying, with every thought, every word, every action matters. We're in this physical world of matter. So realize it does matter. It all matters. And even if it feels small and perhaps insignificant, give yourself permission to embrace that smallness. Embrace that smallness with love and know that it's not small. Yeah. These are the seeds of a new beginning, of a new way.
And it's you times 7 billion. The 7 billion small things is not a small thing. It is you, though. It's not the people. It is you. It is us. So.
Anything more from Pascual?
Sí. Pascual, por favor. Gracias. Maybe you unmute yourself, Marie, and anything that Pascual wants to share with us.
Yeah. Nanga de LLankay manta. LLankay de Tita Kanjista, Sumak LLankay Kanampa, Mana Kajichananjishuki LLankay Islankas Kanjista. Sumakta, La Pala LLankay limpio, Toxanam. Sumak Kudas, limpio, the Pacha Mama Kunata, Yapan Apokunata. Diferente lugares tipo sumak limpio LLankay limpio iwachun sa kanam munay turas ikahina que LLankay sumak limpio masumak limpio kumak cheka LLankay sumak respetas espiritu kunapis munay turas LLankay just LLankay. Más limpio, LLankay. LLankay muna yun. Okay.
So if they respecting the nature, and also if they are going to be protecting the nature to work and to practice this fundamental value, so they are going to be in balance with the physical, mental, and emotional sense. And also, it is fundamental to always keep this balance by having a deep understanding of the basic laws of the nature. So just to understand why the Keros community, why the Keros nation is very important for them respecting the nature, is because they are going to create a new things. They are going to work in the fields. They are going to survive with their families. They are going to protect these communities. They are going to protect the families where they are living. So that's why it's very important when they learn, when they have the knowledge, when they have the heart, just to practice and have the connection of the physical, mental, and emotional sense, just to finish this big activity, this big sense, these big emotions that they feel.
Thank you, Pascual. Thank you, Maria. This is so beautiful, and what you just shared about this feeling, this I want to say awe, and we use the word awesome in English, and really truly embracing the awe of our connection with Mother Earth, and really feeling deeply in our roots that returning to nature, in all of nature, we return to ourselves. We return to the love of this existence, of this truth, of life, and the love that resides in Mother Nature when we walk out to the beach or to a big field, or we connect with the elements for our food. Our direct relationship to our existence is through eating the beautiful fruits and vegetables. Yesterday, Juanita was talking about taking care of the herds and really loving the process, not just harvesting and taking without the love that goes into the roots, to the seeds, and even ourselves going out in the rain and feeling ourselves being watered, feeling our bare feet on the earth, the roots connecting. That is true health. And in this space of true health, we thrive. And I wanted to just say one more thing. What I love also is the modeling of how we can show up in relationship to each other, where we have Pascual translated by Maria, and then to Ray and I sharing our interpretation to the Western world. Notice the support we offer each other, and without one of these links, we wouldn't be here today. And Jim offering this portal for us to share this with you right into your homes. This is not the work of one individual. This is the collective. This is what happens when we unite and unify and share the love within each of our hearts. It becomes magnified, and this is how change happens. This is how we change the pattern and create a new way of being, rooted in the past wisdom of the lineage of the shamans, of the Incas.
That's beautiful, and it's like I'm so inspired. I'm hearing it. I'm like, I want to share them too, because this is, a lot of people talk about lineage, and a lot of people don't talk about lineage at all. The essence is that, like Carl Jung said, I mentioned it yesterday. Carl Jung said we can't just show up as modern people and not be connected with the ancient archetypes. Not connected with the ancient archetypes is a mutation of humankind. We have come here, where from? Mars? Or another planet? And we just invaded this planet? And that's what's happened to us, is that as we've been discommunicated by the divine, discommunicated from the feminine, discommunicated from the other animals, the mammals that we are, we've forgotten how we like to wag our tails, how we like to purr and maybe need someone when we're happy. We've forgotten. Have you forgotten? Don't you love wagging your tail, running in a field, turning your belly to the sun and then just feeling it? We've forgotten. It also became shameful. It became, you can't be like the beast. What's wrong with the beast? No beast, no animal, no other species have created the destruction that the human have created. What white shark and grizzly, the most dangerous species on the planet, is humans. Humans, we have lost, it's just like there's this, like, as they say in the movie Avatar, let's see how we can heal this insanity of ours, of taking. We were reading Sanskrit text the other day, and we came upon the word, I'm going to forget the word, but the word was war.
Yeah.
I'm going to forget I'm forgetting the Sanskrit word, but the word war in Sanskrit means wanting more cows. And that is as the American Indian said, the Apache said, is the white person is sick with the sickness of needing more always. So what? We've taken all the countries, we've taken all the cultures, we've wiped out Quechua and all the Incas. 90 million people were killed. 90 million, a whole culture, we're losing the essence of who we are.
The roots.
And to do what? Replace, take all down the temples to build big churches. It is time to bring back the love for all cultures, for all religions, to bring back, and I see it and I know it working. When we bless the earth, they also bring the Christ energy in. May we walk like Christ and like Mother Mary. So I want to bring it home a little bit, or with a blessing, and also as we receive a blessing, may we have a blessing for our journey as the shamans will be coming here in February. Pascual and Don Francisco and Wilbert will be coming here in Costa Rica. They asked actually yesterday in front of everyone, and I was obliged to in front of a few thousand people to say yes. I am more than happy. It's more than time. Usually we meet 2-3 times a year. Now, February 12th to 19th, we will be here in Costa Rica, Nosara, Costa Rica. Check out, maybe if you could have the link, please, Amanda, if you could, thank you very much, there it is. Check out more details or reach out to us to learn more details. Could we have a blessing, and then I invite also...
First.
Yes. May we have a blessing for the journey, and a blessing for each and every one of us for our bodies. So may our bodies be awakened to be bodies of mission, of compassion, of love. And Jim, whenever you feel you can join us during the blessing or after, I will leave it to you. I'll be happy to discuss more.
Yeah, let's have him.
Don Pascual, en benedicción, por favor.
I think Jim was going to talk first.
Jim, coca.
Welcome panay pakulang kasumasta. Santa Tira Pacha Mama. Ipot punak tamanda pacha kunang kasumasta kunik sundak poiki kunang. Apo saksaywa mang. Apo wanagkauri at mama simuna. Ampumoy. Alat apo sanggate wana sanggate ko jurite. Ngata kusenga ora po Machu Picchu wana Picchu. La palanque o chikunataka bendición de Reiki. A los 20, LLankay 20, masumakto, wasinte, aylumte, familiamte. LLankay masumakto, asingo pisapang ko. Tumakausa ko ng kupa. Dahil ko na punta di konekta ko sa iyo LLankay nito ka, LLankay nito sa iyo watungo kiri na nito te. Masumakta. Inda ko na kadpang. Ang pumunto lang sa minjay ko sa padang waway kinata. Masumakta to ko mo na inyuma. Kaya inyuma lang kay inyuma sa iyo. Ada ausikuna, iyaiwa ito, Gran Espiritu, Mama Pacha kalpang, Pacha Mama kalpang, yachay ni, munay ni, yankay ni, kung sa iyo, Makakiti. Ya pala kiti wa ito na kari ni warme kashangu ya misangu pa ito naman siya ito kumakta. Loko lang kanyo. Kalpa kita ya turay ko. Kunang puso yung matumakta. Kaming chaway ko ya. Just kitikuway ko ya mahina kakucho. Mampis ko na. Wato ko na. Ampumunci sa pampamisayo ko na, misayo ko na, kurang kakudit ko na. Matumakta. Kitikuway ko. Hindi tayo mamakigat sa kuna, kanjay ko ay masumasta.
Gracias, gracias, gracias. Gracias, Pascual. Horpichay Sonkoi. Aliyancho, aliyancho.
Ilang po ni alilami munay songkor.
Munay, munay, munay. Gracias. Thank you, thank you. Marie, thank you, Marie Carmen, for a beautiful job that you did.
I hope you enjoy this little meeting with all that you are there.
We're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow and talking with Don Francisco tomorrow once again.
Right.
As one of the leaders, the great elders, Don Francisco, a leader of the whole tribe, of the whole Quero Nations people. Thank you, Maria. Thank you,
so much.
Pascual. Munay, munay, yang. Munay. All right. Aliancho. So welcome, Jim. All right. Thank you so much, Jim, for this opportunity, for opening this window to the world, to hear more about what it is to be human. Because there is no school; it has been persecuted and taken away from schools. The actual teaching for children, for us as young when we come, is like, what does it mean to be human? How can I live and create a globe of humanity?
Oh, yes. What was occurring to me was the following. Even as we need to immediately, urgently stop fossil fuels and keep the oil in the ground and move to alternative and clean technologies and energies, so too metaphysically, we have to immediately and urgently leave Judeo-Christianity and Islam in particular, but all the axial religions behind, and embrace shamanic, indigenous mind. Our consciousness has to transform as radically as our energy technology in order for us to actually move forward on either front. And so what you have been bringing in, Ray and Nina and Don Pascal and Maria, with Don Francisco, etc., over the last couple of days is not academic. It's not quaint. It's not interesting. It's urgently necessary for human beings, wherever they are, to embrace as fully as they possibly can, because what shamanism, in my view, represents is the return to the mother tongue.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so I feel every time you talk, Ray, that this urgency around moving beyond the Abrahamic and the axial religions to a cosmology, as you can see, everyone, aligns with everything that we know about how the universe is constructed.
Absolutely.
Which we forgot and lost during the rise of the Abrahamic religions.
Absolutely. and especially, I'm going to say this, and this can be controversial, and so I want to say just two things around that. I had one of my students who's still with us a lot in mostly everything we do for over a decade now, but originally, I've been talking about this healing power and bring healing to someone, and these healing tools that we teach in the school and in Ubiquity University, right? And he said, Ray, just be a little patient with me, because I'm a recovering Catholic. So there was that gap for him, that resistance that he had to somehow find permission to take in something that is just nature, that is our nature, that is where we come from, because he was in some way or another discommunicated and was considered that to be something as not approved from a greater power. Now, and again, I want to say this is like, so I said, I totally understand you, my brother Jeff, because I am a recovering atheist. Because I was on the other side, growing up in an a-religious family, I didn't really have any kind of communication with the divine. So then when I was given 90 days to live, 3 months, I'm like, I can't even pray because I don't believe in a God. And all that thing, that lack of spirituality that either someone very religious has or someone atheistic or a-religious has, that lack of spirituality hurts both equally, because what we're talking about, and you really well say, Jim, is like we need to return to understanding our nature. And then I'm going to say, I'll welcome all religions, even the single God religions. When we came back to turn to that Abrahamic religions, what happened is we came to single male God religion. And let's hear that, everyone. Single male God religion, the Almighty. And then we're divided, either hell or paradise. And if you're not part of the club, you're in hell. So, whoa. I'm a part of the club because I was invited by God. I have my personal invitation on my skin in all colors of all skins. We are invited by God, Him, herself, all the gods and goddesses. And realizing gods and goddesses, and I can go on and rant on that. I'll just pause and say that shamanism is not a religion. It's understanding reality and what's pragmatic. How does a tree live and how does it breathe? How do you live and how do you breathe? How does a tree put roots down and how can you put roots? How can you reach your branches out to include others? How are your roots connected with everyone's roots, like the mushrooms on the planet, like the fungi on the planet, like these communities communing? And how can we return back to that as a human right? To feel connected again and to realize our magic. If you give affection to someone, if you say I love you to someone, you just gave this awesome healing session. You changed their chemistry. You actually made a chemical change in the other person. So I feel that I'm blessed, and I feel that what you've created with Ubiquity University, we're honored that the Jaguar Path is collaborating, and we're bringing this as an academic field, because this is where we need to bring it to the educated people, to the people receiving education. So,
looking to evolve, in one way or another. And the practices that we share with the shamanism and in the school, we do root that also in the science, so that the Western mind can really understand conceptually what are the indigenous talking about. And I feel this big excitement in saying, hey, guess what? We as brothers and sisters, as human beings, have preserved this knowledge. We have it at our fingertips. We have the Taoist practices. We have the shamans. We have the connection to our roots. It has not been lost. So this is a moment of hope and excitement in my heart that I feel so much gratitude, Jim. Thank you for creating this portal, creating this window for us to share and to truly unite and say, hey, we've preserved this. We've got our roots intact.
Why don't you take just a couple of minutes and describe the master's program, your 9-month course, et cetera, so people have a sense. I put the link in the chat box. I'll do it again now for everyone, but just take a few minutes to describe your program.
This is a 9-month program that I developed coming out of Peru, coming out of the jungle and down from the Andes, as inspired and pressed by my teachers to teach this, to share, by Don Francisco and Sebastian Pascual and Juanita. You have to teach this because this is essential to humanity. So the 9 months or 9 weekends we meet, and of course it's recorded, so it's your choice when you take it, but as you register in Ubiquity University for this master's program, we have 9 months that our 9 months is a specific time that it takes to transmute, to change, 9 months to rebirth. You're receiving all this information as an academic, but it is not changing your mind. It's changing more than that. It's not giving you more information as history, as just tradition, but it's awakening what is most human within each and every one of us. Every person, every student that will be studying is receiving a knowledge that is amazing personal power because we come closer to truth. Truth is amazingly powerful. Truth is what allows you to be real. I was talking to a friend, we were talking with a friend, and we're walking into a friend's house and talking about this bear we saw and about bear medicine and how you can connect. And his brother was sitting there watching TV, and he looked at us and snobbishly said, "Do you guys believe in all that?" And my automatic reaction, and I didn't even, it just came up as like, "Do you believe in what you're watching?" Because if you think that the series on TV or the news or anything on TV is real and they can actually empower you in life, you're very much mistaken. As much as movies are beautiful and it's as an ancient thing coming from shamanic storytelling, now it's lost its essence because it doesn't talk about archetypes. It talks about stereotypes that will always bring you to a dead end. But I'll say to the 9-month training, we begin in November. Every weekend we are learning 2 shamanic tools. So you'll learn 18 shamanic tools that you can use to help others, and there's many others that need your help right now. Become a trained healer. And we do not replace modern medicine, and by law we're not supposed to say that we are, and we don't. But what we're doing is that we're empowering people. If they need to go through a surgery, if they're doing some kind of healing therapy or they're taking some medication, how can we encourage them? How can we get their courage to rise, their connection? How can we make their heart awaken, again, to feel the love, the acceptance of Mother Earth? So we'll learn chakra clearing to balance out the endocrine system, cord cutting to let go of old relationships that are still tugging us and making us create the same relationship over and over again. We learn shamanic journeying. What's your power animal? How can you really engage with your jaguar, with your condor, whatever your power animal is? What's your secret power that you can bring in and live with in everyday life? We learn soul retrieval. What parts of yourself do you feel you've lost when you got so scared as a kid with that traumatic experience that took your breath away? We learn divination. How can I project into the future what I truly want and know that I can learn and I can know about my future through divination, and I have a say along with the gods and goddesses. Fire ceremony. How can I burn old contracts that hold me back so I can really upgrade who I am and not get stuck in old stories?
And the 9 months are divided into 3 trimesters. It is serpent, jaguar, and condor, just as Pasquale was talking about today, these three dimensions of reality. And so each of the tools Ray just listed, with many more, are associated with each of those dimensions of self. So we're really learning tools to support the body, the mind, and the spirit as we move through the process. And really the outcomes of this master's program is so that each of us are able to walk in the world really feeling more yourself.
The master of yourself.
Really becoming a master of yourself. And we look at Ubiquity creating these master's programs in peace and tolerance. When we become aligned and in a correct relationship to ourselves, we then in turn can reflect that out into the world, offering peace, having a deeper sense of tolerance within ourselves, and then having these tools rooted in this ancient lineage, not only to support our own health, but the health of our family, our loved ones, community, and beyond.
This is, yeah.
Beautiful. Well, over the next couple of days and weeks, we'll be talking more about this, everyone. But this is the path. This 9-month course, is extremely timely. And if anyone who's interested has financial challenges or whatever, we do have some scholarships available. So just contact our office, contact me or Ray or Nina, and we'll work something out because the world needs you to become a jaguar.
The world needs
At this
you.
moment, or whatever power animal seizes you. It's I've just to conclude here. This is so deeply resonant for me, because about 15 years ago, an elder from the Iroquois Nation, Pila, Colorado, came into my life, and Ubiquity would not be here had it not been for Pila. So the birthing of this university, the birthing of our Chartre Academy, Humanity Rising, has all been mediated by a woman elder, a shaman. So the entire edifice is of shamanic architecture. And one of the things that we began to do is what Apila called geomythology. I have a PhD from Cambridge, and she came to me one day. She said, "Jim, you know a lot about Greek mythology and Hindu mythology. Do you know anything about Earth mythology?" And I'd never even thought that thought before. She says, the Earth has got better stories than the Greeks.
That's where they live.
ever obedient to Apila, we started to scramble around, and we began to teach courses on listening to the earth. And we had a course out in Texas at this amazing enchanted rock, as they call it, that goes back 15, 20,000 years and has been used by the native peoples for shamanic practice. And the purpose of the course would be to go to that rock every day and shift your consciousness, your perception, from communing with nature to intelligible communication with nature. Because it's not just the eagles and the bears and the beavers and the lions. It's the earth itself. It's the rocks that, if we're attuned, we can talk with, if we know the mother tongue.
Yes.
What we're made of.
Huh?
It's what we're made of.
Yeah.
People say the hippies are the tree huggers. The tree hugger is the skeptic, is the actual thinking person aligned with reality, and the people in cement blocks behind screens that have no depth and know only the history written by the tyrants are in deep sleep.
So this is the time of the prophecy.
This is the time. Tell us about the prophecy.
The prophecy of the condor and eagle flying together again. The South America is the heart, the North America is the mind, and the condor and the eagle are brothers, and this is the time that they unite.
The medicine,
reconnect. The heart and the mind, the condor and eagle can fly together again in this portal. It's beautiful, Jim.
And the Incas with the American Indians, indigenous people, the medicines are now coming together, and we are part of it.
Yeah. Beautiful image, Nina. Thank you. The eagle and the condor, everyone. Let us contemplate these images at the close of day 3. Then tomorrow we'll enter our 4th and penultimate day of the Way of the Shaman. Thank you, Don Pascal. Thank you, Maria, Ray, Nina. Thank you so much. This is food for the soul.
Thank
See
you.
you
I'll be in
tomorrow,
the after chat if you have any questions. Jim, thank you.
All right. Be well. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Pascual, Maria, gracias.
Horpichai Sankoi.
Ali Yancho.
Horpichai.
Yeah.